In a very odd turn of events, the powerful Israel lobbying group AIPAC sent its first delegation to Taiwan yesterday. Take a look over here, and you'll see a photo with the president of Taiwan speaking at this AIPAC conference, where over 200 AIPAC and Taiwanese officials were. Here's a short clip of the speech that he gave.
I extend a warm welcome to the first ever delegation to Taiwan from the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. AIPAC is a prominent nonprofit dedicated to advancing U.S.-Israel relations. It is a highly prestigious and influential organization in the United States.
Okay, so I'm just going to stop right here. You can clearly see the guy was looking at a teleprompter the whole entire time. But separate from that, what's going on here is that we have an American lobbying group. They call themselves American. They're registered here in America. They have American citizens that run the lobbying group that most likely have dual citizenship or have some sort of odd allegiance to Israel. And this lobbying group that's meant to lobby the American government is now flying out and doing foreign affairs with Taiwan. So more headlines are coming out now. And the Taiwan president also, during this about 10.5-minute speech, he stated that David and Goliath is a model for Israel, is representative of Israel, and AIPAC Israel is a model for defense. This is coming from the Taiwanese president. So not only that, he goes on further and he actually makes a tweet about this event last night. And Lai Ching-te stated, "A warm welcome to AIPAC's first delegation to Taiwan. As we deepen strategic partnerships, invest in advanced tech, and enhance our defense capabilities, we look forward to closer Taiwan-U.S.-Israel cooperation on security, trade, and beyond, promoting peace across the Taiwan Strait." This got 1.3 million views the last time I checked. And Taiwan's security general also posted this yesterday. Joseph Wu, thrilled to welcome the first ever AIPAC delegation. What a wonderful crowd. Glad to deepen Taiwan-U.S.-Israel ties based on our shared values of freedom and the rule of law. Hope you had a good time here, and we look forward to more visits ahead. So I don't know about you guys. There's something very, very odd that I'm sensing here. Other people have on social media as well. Why is America's pro-Israel lobby in Taiwan conducting foreign relations between multiple nations? This may be the clearest reason to have them registered under FARA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act. I don't know any other lobbying group that's doing the operations of a foreign country, because AIPAC did not go to Taiwan to represent America. They state that they are an American lobbying group, but AIPAC's sole goal is to strengthen ties between the United States and Israel. And now we have this lobbying organization that currently works on behalf and pushes and promotes the interests of a foreign country, going to Taiwan and deepening its own relations with Taiwan, which is clearly for the interests of not America, but Israel. Because if America wanted to deepen the interests with Taiwan, we can simply do that ourselves. We don't need an Israeli lobbying group here in the United States doing that for us. So it really begs the question, is there something more going on here? Is this part of a larger vision that Israel has in place that is making it now prioritize South Asia and its relations with South Asia? Is there something bigger going on here? Here's an article that was posted this year by Israeli National News. As the West dies, Israel's future lies with rising Asia. Israel shares increasingly fewer values with the leftist West, which in its bid to destroy itself has abandoned its history, culture, uniqueness, and belief in itself. This is an opinion piece. But the 77-year-old history of Israel's diplomatic alliances with the West appears to be ending, and increasingly we see that we have disturbingly little in common with the dying West. Indeed, today's totalitarian leftist and progressive ideas prevalent in the West have resulted in undiluted hatred of Israel and the Jews. The article goes on and says, so, with what countries can Israel make sincere, substantial, and long-lasting alliances? Well, simply put, the countries that need Israel and we need them are South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, and critically, India. And as an example of what could be created with partners in the East, today South Korea manufactures its own stealth fighter jet, the KAI KF-21 Barame, which is well regarded. The article goes on, and now what we're seeing here is, aside from basically calling the West a dying entity and just saying that the West is trash, Israel is now trying to align itself with a group that's never really been talked about much before. And it talks about how not only is the West a dying entity, but also that the West has deserted it after October 7th. As is painfully obvious since October 7th, we need to have in place alternatives to those Western countries that have displaced their hatred of Israel and the Jews. And common sense should tell us that today's close alliance with the United States will be very short lived. For much of today's cooperation with the United States is based upon the personal likes and dislikes of an ego driven president who has only a few more years to serve. Critically, Israel must be prepared for when the United States turns again to the Democrats and elects another leftist as president. And the article goes on and on and on. So what we're seeing here is Israel is now basically trying to frame what's going on as we have to go seek alternatives because the West is starting to recognize, hey, maybe Israel's onslaught in Gaza, maybe Israel's occupation of the West Bank, the apartheid in the West Bank, is probably not something good that should be maintained long term. The West, and particularly America, will try to prevent Israel from creating military alliances in Asia, since such alliances would mean a lessening of US influence over Israel. As for Europe, they will also try to stop alliances between Israel and Asia, simply because Europe's genetic response is to prevent anything that is good for Israel and the Jews. Using the word genetic response here is particularly interesting. It seems that I've seen Jewish Zionists state before that they believe Europeans have an inherent genetic sense of anti Semitism, which is very odd to read. We have seen since October 7th how fickle and dishonest was the support received from our American allies. America, they believe, has been fickle and dishonest in its support. That's absolutely insane. And we have seen the response to October 7th by Europeans who denounced Israel as quickly as possible after the start of the war. So the article goes on and on and on, and you can get a sense of what Israel is trying to do here. There seems to be factions within Israel now that are starting to suggest moving and shifting alliances to Asia. And while this is going on, it seems that the United States, which has given Israel billions and billions of dollars and fought wars for Israel in the Middle East, very much so for Israel's benefit, is basically left to the wayside now as Israel looks on to the next global superpower and to the next rising powers. It's not the only article that's mentioned this. You might have heard of Rabbi Shmuley before. He is pretty well known in for a lot of different reasons. He's had previous altercations and feuds would be a better word with Candace Owens. He wrote an op-ed in the Times of Israel, Why China Must Drop Iran and Embrace Israel. And he goes on and suggests similar things, but he says it's a strategic pivot with global benefits. China's dependency on Iranian oil may seem pragmatic, but this friendship is a reputational liability. Iran is a state sponsor of terror, allied to Assad's genocidal Syria, and now a cheerleader for Hamas's atrocities. A pivot towards Israel offers China not only moral high ground, but tangible benefits. Access to Israeli innovations in clean technology, famine relief, counterterrorism, and diplomacy. A Chinese-Israeli joint memorial or an annual remembrance for victims of sexual violence on October 7th would send an unambiguous message. The sanctity of life and dignity is not Western, it is universal. Again, this article is written by Rabbi Shmuley over here. So we'll see how things unfold moving forward. Israel seems to be taking a different direction now, and it's using its organizational arms here in the United States, such as the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, to do that bidding. We'll see how things continue to unravel moving forward and whether Israel is going to be also eyeing China anytime in the near future. If you found this video interesting, make sure to click the subscribe button below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.